So when Cyberpunk launched last year, it showed me and the gaming world at large that an RPG set in a cyberpunk world is something that a lot of people want. Seeing as that game is still a disaster to this day, and I don't really see it getting any better.
Not that I expect those sleek suits to be able to unfuck this situation in any meaningful way.
I really truly feel like there was a void in that space until the Ascent has come to town. I've been playing through the game over the weekend, and although this video is sponsored by Curve Digital, the publisher behind the Ascent, I've been given full authority to discuss the good, the bad, and the ugly. This game is solid, sometimes jaw-dropping, but there are issues with the game, specifically in co-op, that we're going to discuss in this video. If you guys like the style of the video, leave a like on it down below and subscribe for more videos just like this. We're about to hit 229,000 subscribers, and we're growing every day. And if you guys are interested in picking up a copy of the game, the link is down in the description below. So the Ascent opens up to this dark and grimy underbelly of a corporate-run metropolis with claustrophobic tunnels, creepy crawlies, and lots of electrical ducts and piping kind of just run all over the place. I instantly said that it reminds me of Doom, and I really want a Gears of War game set in this style with this aesthetic. And come to find out, the team over at Neon Digital are 12 gaming industry veterans who have worked on games like Gears of War, Doom, Bulletstorm, and many others. So I can absolutely see the inspiration from those gritty, gory, bloody games on display here. Once you make your way out of this underworld, you're greeted with the sprawling city above you with vast displays of the city in the background as you kind of weave through the hustle and the bustle of this city. The amount of shiny objects, lights, neon signs, and just NPCs on screen at one time, it's kind of insane. The density of this world is incredible. The game's visuals shine super bright here, and for me, I'd like to specifically give a shout out to the environment artist that worked on this game. It's insane, the attention to detail that they have, and seeing it like while I'm editing this video just does not do it justice. This game on your monitor is going to look fucking gorgeous. Navigating the world, on the other hand, is kind of a pain in the ass. You can hit the O key, which kind of brings up a little trail that you can follow, and there is like a little green indicator kind of showing the direction of where your next quest is. But when you open the map, it's almost impossible for me to use. They nailed the design of so many things in this game, but this screen here is not one of them. There's so many different layers to all of these areas that you're going to, and being able to show it in this perspective is almost impossible to do. It's just, it's not even worth using. Now, the gameplay is pretty straightforward. It's an isometric RPG set in a cyberpunk world. You have skills, abilities, weapon loadouts, and armor sets to collect and purchase, and plenty of missions to earn what they call U-Cred from, the in-game currency. The game has a lot to offer. I'm approaching 12 hours over this weekend, and I feel like I'm still doing the beginner stuff, even though some portions of this game are harder than fuck. Some fights require you to continue moving, while at the same time, you have to utilize cover to your advantage, crouching behind a wall that could get blasted away at any moment. There is destruction in the game. It's not a lot, but there are like key areas in all of these maps that like you can just blow away a pillar and then it's damaged, or there might be like a computer or like a med station on a wall somewhere that just gets blown away. But while you're sitting behind cover, if you right click on your mouse, I did use mouse and keyboard, and I've also tried to play this game on a controller. I'm a mouse and keyboard guy. The controller works just fine. It's just I prefer my mouse and keyboard. But when you do right click, your character does like this over the top firing animation that allows you to kind of aim over cover and aim higher. This is crucial for when a bunch of Yakuza warriors are coming at you with katanas in the night rain, or when you end up fighting a large mech droid thing in the middle of what looks to be a courtyard in a mall somewhere. There's so much cover, so much destruction, and it's so fucking badass. The one thing I did notice is the performance drops when a lot of explosions happen on screen. Specifically, there are these red barrels everywhere. They're literally littered everywhere. And if you're playing on ultra or high, at least in my experience with a 2080 Ti, as soon as they explode, so does my PC temperatures. It does chug, but only during those explosions, seemingly. It's kind of crazy. In other game scenes where there's fire and explosions and these crazy set pieces, the game looks amazing and runs flawlessly. It's just those goddamn barrels. Once these fights ramp up and there's a lot of enemies on screen and a lot of explosions, the music starts to ramp up significantly as well. There's this dark synthwave soundtrack bumping in the background. The music is so addicting, and what's cool is if you did purchase this during its launch window, which is right now, until August 5th, you do get the official soundtrack as a bonus, as well as a weapon in-game and a discount on the game. And I've already moved mine into Spotify and plan on listening to it on a drive somewhere very, very soon. It's one of the best soundtracks that I think I may have heard since like Pillars of Eternity. It's just incredible. I am a fan of like synthwave and retrowave soundtracks, so it's right up my alley. There's quite a few weapons at your disposal in this game as well, from pistols to SMGs, rocket launchers, LMGs, and pretty much everything in between. You also have access to different types of grenades, or stuns, frags, shockwaves, you name it. There is a shit ton of content in terms of your character abilities and loadouts in this game. It is an RPG, and they have it in droves. Now, all of these weapons are used in combination with what they're calling augmentations. So these are skills that are toggled to your Q and E buttons that allow things like shockwave pushes, dropping a whole bunch of explosive spider bots on the ground, or robot companions to join you on your journey, grab aggro from whatever you're trying to fight. They're there for a limited time, and there's a couple of different robots that you can use as like a side companion. Speaking of joining in, you can play through the entirety of this game in 4-player co-op. Now, I myself started a solo run, and then my girlfriend jumped in to join me on a new save. Now, co-op is definitely the way to play it when it comes to combat, but the game does have quite a bit of problems when you have another person on board. If you click on the same trader or vendor near the same time, it results in one player needing to Alt F4 or go back to the main menu to be re-invited. The game just freezes up completely. We had an issue where her character couldn't aim anymore after a cutscene, so the character just kept facing the same direction no matter what she did. Various issues with UI throughout our playthrough, and just an overall feeling of jank between the connections. It's definitely the preferred way to play, but after they get all of those bugs kind of fixed and get the game working at a higher level. Looking at the Steam reviews for the game as well, it's most definitely an issue plaguing a lot of folks online, but I truly believe that Neon Digital will get all of those issues worked out as soon as they can. And you can see that in a post they put on their Steam page, and basically they say that effort will not stop. They're working night and day to address feedback, improve gameplay experiences, and fix bugs. So they're taking the shit really serious, which I have to respect. Now, what I will say is, even though there is a lot of issues with the co-op, these issues, in my opinion, don't hold the game back from being one of the best experiences that this summer has to offer in terms of gaming, with RPG elements swinging their big content-filled dick all over, upgrading weapons, a plethora of skills to build up on your character, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, from cosmetic items being found on missions to make your character truly unique, dealing with armor, dealing with weapons, upgrading weapons, all of this stuff. It's crazy. I think a lot of people are going to be skipping this game simply due to it being an isometric view shooter. This is a niche genre, but there is a shit ton of content for RPG fans. Now, I want to talk about the skills and attributes. These systems on your character are pretty in-depth. Now, the only issue I have is it doesn't do a good enough job in telling you what each symbol means for your character when you're dealing with throwing on different items for your armor or your weapons. There's a lot of different stats with a bunch of arrows that go up and down. All of these symbols don't really explain what it is unless you go in depth and read into the codex. There's a brick wall symbol that means balance, which is a skill that affects stuns, knockbacks, and other character balance items. It's basically a dexterity skill point. Easy enough. But then there are attributes called cybernetics, motorics, biometrics, and frame. On top of all of these other ones, these affect multiple things. So frame refers to balance and evasion skills on your character. Biometrics is an attribute on your character that affects the skills on your character called vital signs and body battery. It's essentially health. Motorics is an attribute that affects your weapon handling skill as well as your aiming. Cybernetics affects tactical sense and critical hit rate. Did you guys all get all that? You can see that they're connected only based on their colors in the menus, but when you get into like changing out armors, there's 4 more symbols that are affected with stats. Basically, Look, there's a lot of shit on screen, and a simple ability to hover over a symbol and have a little box that pops up telling you what each one does, and what it affects, that's really all that's needed here to make it 10 times less confusing. But the bottom line is, this is a full-fledged RPG. There's a level of quality with this title that makes me feel like these developers actually give a shit. Seeing as this is their first game, the amount of detail and care that has gone into this is really refreshing to see, considering all of the games that I do cover on this channel. And for a team of only 12 people, it's quite a feat to see everything they have done kind of come together and almost work so seamlessly together outside of those few little issues that I have with the game. The sprawling environments just blending together into one another makes the world feel a lot more natural than other RPGs that I've played. The audio from not only the soundtrack, but the weapons just feeling punchy, the bullet impact noises with the gore just makes it feel really visceral and raw. The missions, they flow and they send you to multiple locations where you meet unique characters within this cyber world. The amount of armor and weapon options are staggering, while at the same time, the basic gameplay loop is simple and familiar. You go to an area, you're sent there to either kill somebody, or you're sent there to get, this huge generator running in this underbelly, and you kill stuff. There's like med packs, there's chests to break. It's a basic RPG loop with a very nice game built around it. The Ascent is easily one of the best games you can buy this summer on Steam, in my honest opinion. I think Neon Digital has crafted something really, really special here, and I fully anticipate their future titles to be awesome as well. I'm a fan. I'm a fucking fan. There's a link in the description and it'll take you to the game's Steam page. Even if you aren't on board, wishlist it. Wait for a sale if this is something that even piques your interest. The game's also available on Xbox One and the Series X and the S. Big thank you to Digital Curve for sending me a key and sponsoring the video for the Ascent. One of the most surprisingly enjoyable titles that I've played in quite some time. My name is Bigfry. Thank you guys for watching. Leave your comments down below. I'm curious to hear what you guys think of the game, of the video, and everything in between. Subscribe for more videos, leave a like on it, and I'll see you on the next one.